Typhoon Hato, the strongest of the year, has hit South China. At least 9 people have been killed and 1 remains missing. China Report has more.
Typhoon Hato made landfall in the city of Zhuhai in Guangdong province at noon Wednesday. It brought winds of up to 160 kilometers per hour to the mouth of the Pearl River and heavy rain to nearby regions. In Guangdong, 4 people have died and 1 remains missing. More than 600 hectares of farmland have been damaged. The government has evacuated more than 26,000 people to temporary shelters. Power transmission facilities suffered heavy loss, disrupting electricity supply to nearly 2 million households. Alerts for landslides, flooding, and other geological disasters have been issued.
We were told yesterday not to work due to the strong typhoon. We came to work this morning as there was no wind. Then the boss said we should go home for our safety.
Before its landing, Typhoon Hato swept past Hong Kong and Macau, leaving 5 people dead in Macau.
Leaders of the 5 BRICS countries will meet in China's southeastern coastal city of Xiamen early next month for the 9th annual summit. The highlight of this year's event will be exploration of a new BRICS Plus model, which could bring more countries into the bloc. A number of Indian editors back the idea.
Each time the BRICS countries, they should reach out to new set of other countries, so that BRICS is not just a closed door club where other underdeveloped and developing countries see an opportunity, a participative opportunity, to an option for more funding, financing and equal participation, and not be dependent on only one set of institutions, which has been largely the case till now.
With developing economies which are now being called in for the first time, the BRICS is expanding its agenda. It's almost like painting on a big canvas. The canvas has got bigger. So I see the Xiamen summit to be a very, very important summit, notwithstanding whatever rumors people may say. But for me, BRICS is important. BRICS is the future of the world, the future of the world economy. If all those emerging economies find a common platform, that's what they're looking at. Non-aligned was limited to some extent to a handful of nations. But this one can open up new doors to countries which are trying to see reason how they can go forward in developing their business. Everyone has realized now that remaining isolated or insulated within themselves doesn't really help business grow.
The Red Cross Society of China has donated $50,000 to help Vietnam's northwestern communities affected by recent floods and landslides.
The Chinese embassy to Vietnam handed over the sum to the country's Red Cross Society in Hanoi on Wednesday. The aid aims at providing more resources to support Vietnamese in northwestern regions to overcome consequences of flooding. In late July, severe floods and landslides hit Vietnam's northwest provinces, killing 29, injuring 28, leaving 16 missing and damaging thousands of houses. In 2016, the Red Cross Society of China offered $200,000 to Vietnamese flood victims in central regions. The organization also presented another $100,000 to help enhance Vietnam's capacity of coping with disasters.
As Ghana and China mark over 5 decades of friendship and cooperation, many Ghanaians will like to see closer ties between the 2 countries.
Lucy Anning is a Ghanaian student studying in Zhongshan University of Economics and Law. Lucy says she sees firsthand how collaboration helps boost each other's culture.
If we can agree in terms of tradition, in terms of understanding each other, we can do a lot of things together. We can collaborate, we can do a lot of things together. I'm currently writing a project, doing a research work with a Chinese, and this is all possible because he chose to understand me and I also understand him, so we can work together.
China and Ghana first established diplomatic ties in 1960. To celebrate its anniversary, the Ghana-China Friendship Association threw an evening event. Its president said Ghana can learn a lot from China.
Learning of each other's culture is very important. China has a very long civilization going back 5,000 years. Chinese in the past have also managed to travel in their boats to Africa long before modern history was known. And I think that we, as Africans, can learn a lot from China, but we also need them here in our society in order to help the development we all need.
At the event, a Ghanaian ex-diplomat called for even more integration.
We should not only have an association to celebrate anniversaries and then go home, but we must promote events that will bring Chinese and Ghanaians together more dynamically than we have at the moment.
US-born panda Bao Bao celebrated her 4th birthday in southwest China's Sichuan province Wednesday. More than 100 tourists and staff gathered for Bao Bao's birthday party. China Report has more.
Staff with the Dujiangyan base of the China Conservation and Research Center for Giant Panda prepared a 50-kilogram birthday cake made from bamboo, carrots, steamed buns, and apples.
I didn't make any ordinary ice cake, but cut them daily food, bamboos, into smaller sections and made them into a birthday cake. Because she is 4 years old, so we made the 4-tiered cake. We also added some bamboo shoots, carrots, and apples into it.
American tourist Charlene, who watched a live transmission of Bao Bao's birth 4 years ago, traveled to Sichuan from Virginia to attend the party.
She likes trees, so she loves to climb trees. When she was in Washington, she climbed trees a lot. You know, Bao Bao loves living here. I feel so comfortable and I feel very, very happy. She looks very peaceful and she trusts her new environment. She's comfortable here. So this is a good place for her. Dujiangyang is a good place for Bao Bao. And we're happy to see all the festivities for her birthday today.
Bao Bao was born on August 23, 2013, at the Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington, D.C., the second panda born there. Her parents, Mei Xiang and Tian Tian, moved to the American Zoo in 2000 under a cooperation agreement between China and the U.S. According to the agreement, panda cubs born in the U.S. to parents on loan from China must be returned to China so that they can enter breeding programs. Bao Bao arrived in Chengdu on February the 22nd this year before being quarantined for a month. Bao Bao's carer said that when Bao Bao first returned to China, it took a while for her to get used to Chinese food, steamed buns.
The biggest problem when Bao Bao first came back to China was that she didn't eat steamed buns. So I had to cut the buns into thin slices and dip them into honey. Now she gets used to it and can eat 1,200 grams a day.
The panda has put on 8 kilograms since her return. So far, the Panda Breeding Center has similar collaborations with 13 zones in 11 countries. 11 pandas born overseas have returned to the center in China.
A kind of sharing sleep pod has been put into use in southwest China's Chongqing city. It provides local citizens an optional choice for taking a nap. Take a look.
The shape of the sleeping pod is similar to a space capsule. It's 1 meter wide and 2 meters long. A USB charger and free Wi-Fi is available inside. They are installed in local industrial parks and office buildings. Users can easily order and operate the pod on a cell phone. The aircon will automatically turn on after the cabin door opens. The exhaust fan will start working to fresh the air at the end of the lease. The sleeping pod is fireproof. It's also equipped with extinguisher and smoke detectors. The door can be easily opened by an emergency button from inside or by remote control on the cell phone.
Mobike, one of China's largest bike-sharing companies, is launching its app in Japan. Mobike opened its service in Sapporo on Wednesday. The move marks the bike-sharing company's debut in Japan and is another step towards the overseas market.
The first batch of bikes, 100, have been placed on parking spots provided by Mobike's local partners. Users can ride the bikes after registering on the Mobike app on their phones and linking it to their bank cards. A Mobike ride costs 50 yen per 30 minutes. Before using it for the first time, users need to pay a deposit of 3,000 yen. Chris Martin, Mobike's head of international expansion, explained to CNC China Report why they choose Sapporo as a place to launch their service in Japan.
The reason behind Sapporo is it's a beautiful city, there's tons to do and see, there's lots of global tourists from all over the world, especially from China now, especially existing Mobike users that come to Sapporo. And in Japan, one of our key points for having a successful scheme that really works with the city is being able to have lots of business partners and the government working very closely with us at the same time. So being able to have those two together in Sapporo was incredibly fast, and they kind of pushed us to launch as early as possible. So it's a real pleasure to be here and have everyone that comes visit Sapporo to get around with the same Mobike that they would do in any other country.
Chris said the number of bikes provided is expected to grow according to local customer demand. Mobike plans to start services in 10 Japanese cities by the end of this year.
Our company's plan in Japan right now is to be getting to 10 cities very quickly. We're already in talks with around 10 cities, and it's really moving forward the business partnerships that we already have and taking them from one city, not just for business partnerships that we announced today, but many that we haven't announced yet, and taking those existing talks with other cities and the business model and the operating model that we're learning right now we're going to perfect in Sapporo in the next month, so we can replicate that and take it across to all of Japan.
The test ride before the launching ceremony drew crowds of young people and tourists.
First impression is so convenient and useful because this bicycle only using through the smartphone, and unlocking and pay the fee. I want to use this so much in Sapporo. Yeah, I love Mobike.
After their huge success in the domestic market, Chinese bike-sharing companies are preparing for entry into the global market. Mobike has expanded quickly since it started in China's Shanghai in 2016. It has now begun operations in Italy, Singapore, and Britain. Mobike's main rival, Ofo, has announced that it will launch bike-sharing services in Tokyo and Osaka next month.
Each year, the robot industry becomes more advanced and the machines capable of even more jobs. But will they replace human workers? For the answer, we send our correspondents along to the World Robot Conference in Beijing to find out more.
This year's convention shows off everything from the weird and otherworldly to the charming entertainers. However, it's not just Taylor Swift that should be worried. The vast majority of robots on show are similar to the ones that have been in factories for the past few decades. Only now they're getting smaller, cheaper and more clever. Called Juco, or Dual Arm Collaborative, robots like these can perform essential tasks. When not leisurely drawing sand pictures, they can be used in areas where humans can't go, such as in labs handling deadly diseases, or picking up microchips sensitive to humans' natural static charge. However, according to the manufacturer, robots aren't just replacements for humans, and in fact, they can both bring out the best in each other.
Because it can work with people together, so it can improve efficiency during some industrial process. Because during some researches by some scientists, when robots work with humans together, the efficiency will be highest. It's different from robots work together or humans work together.
A case in point is this one-armed robot, which works in harmony with the human operator. Using an AR headset, which is nearly easy enough for a news reporter to understand, the operator can put the arm to work. The arm uses its advanced thermal sensors to scan and check mobile phone screens for faults, while the operator does the fiddly task of hooking each screen up. Together, they do the jobs that the other can't. Robots are also being developed to make up for any ailments that a human might have, such as for those with disabilities. These assistive robots are a specialty for China's hit robot group and Canadian firm Canova Robotics.
It's like an extension of his body. Whatever he cannot do, that person cannot do physically due to his body particularities. We fill that gap with our robots. So we enhance the human's capabilities, especially those ones with the disabilities.
Fantastic. The robot industry has exploded in recent years. According to the International Federation of Robotics, China has gone from having just 7,000 industrial robots nationwide in 2004 to 340,000 last year. It's a trend happening around the world.
The industry is booming all over the world. We have partners and clients all over the world. Of course, we are again in Canada, based out of Montreal, but we are seeing a huge growth of the market everywhere in the world, the assistive market. So future is very friendly.
So next time you sit up in a bar and enjoy the onstage entertainment, maybe look twice at that one playing the piano.
Three of China's most successful companies in the educational industry have co-founded a UK-based publishing company. The new company, Innova Press Limited, will produce high-quality English learning and teaching materials and promote Chinese culture around the globe.
Three leading Chinese educational companies reached a deal in Beijing on Tuesday to co-founding a publishing company, Innova Press Limited, based in London. The companies involved are the Foreign Language Teaching and Research Press, Hujian Education and Technology, and New Oriental Group, respectively a foreign language publisher, a leading online education company, and a top English training group. They're hoping to combine their resources and skills to develop a business in the UK and potentially Europe.
Well, I'm delighted that Innova's making this new investment. I think they're going to be very successful. The UK is one of the biggest centres of publishing in the world. China is one of the biggest markets for publishing. And you have three of the most expert groups coming together to form this investment.
Richard Peacock has been appointed as the president of Innova.
There are three major lines of business with the new company. One is English language teaching publishing. One is China language teaching publishing and China themed publishing. And the third, later on, will be teacher training.
Innova is being promoted as an innovative international publisher. Its mission is to create materials and courses based on the needs of learners in a digital age.
We will be going from research into the actual needs of students, and then once we have assessed those needs, then we will create the materials that they actually need rather than what we think they need. The other thing that we will be doing is, rather than the traditional model of producing print material first and then moving into digital, on most of our products we will be starting from digital and then moving to print if necessary.
It is hoped that the new materials will combine digital and cross-cultural methods to provide the best learning experience for language lovers.
Globally renowned Chinese Kung Fu star Jackie Chan has urged fans not to consume pangolin products.
In a promotional video aimed at raising awareness about pangolins, Jackie Chan is shown training with the animals to protect themselves from poachers using Kung Fu. Despite his efforts, he sees that curling up is the only thing they can manage to do. But later, the pangolins developed ninja-like skills to defend themselves against poachers. The video, called Kung Fu Pangolin, is being premiered by WildAid, together with the Nature Conservancy and China Wildlife Conservation Association. Jackie Chan, the newly appointed ambassador for WildAid, makes a passionate appeal on the video, urging fans to protect the pangolins.
So please, help protect the pangolins and never buy their meat or scales. When the buying stops, the killing can stop too.
Zhao Peng, a conservation official, says that protecting wildlife is also protecting human life itself. He says a pangolin weighing just 3 kilograms can help protect roughly 16 hectares of forest from being overrun with ants. Pangolins are one of the oldest mammals on Earth. However, they are also some of the most heavily trafficked mammals on the planet. An estimated 1 million have been poached over the past decade. In China, the number of pangolins has decreased by over 90% over the past 21 years. Now, pangolins are rarely found in the wild. WildAid CEO Peter Knights says the priority for pangolin conservation is reducing consumer demand and improving law enforcement. CNC President Jiang Yan is also calling for Chinese media to support the protection of pangolins. Jackie Chan also told the press that he is planning a comedy action film featuring animals at risk, like pangolins and rhinos, to promote awareness about wildlife protection.
云天无际，承载梦想。中国南方航空是中国运输飞机最多、航线网络最发达、年客运量最大的航空公司。亚洲第一，全球第三，是南航缔造的业界奇迹。 蓝天壮志情，云海谱华章。